ask you whether you have any fears or superstitions from the war.
I don't have any fears or superstition. The only thing I have is dreams, seeing things. Like I told you, I see that little Shimali running around on the, naked, or I see other scenes what my eyes saw, killing people, killing children, laying, and going through all this. How is it possible a person, a human being to survive, to take so much and to have the willpower? And that's what I'm grateful to Hashem, that He gave me the strength and the energy to have to survive, to go through hunger, cold, and I'm very grateful to this, that I met my wife. I'm going to say it again. She is the life of my life, and I'm grateful to her that we together help each other. She is just like a psychiatrist. If you have a problem, they discuss it. They never argue. If they argue, they discuss it. They had a beautiful life, and they have a very close relationship with our children, with our daughter-in-laws.
Your wife also went through
My wife
the
was
war.
she was in Auschwitz, 2.5 years in Bergen-Belsen. She has a number. She went through plenty, maybe in a different way. Maybe if I would be in concentration camp, maybe I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it. But she went through an awful lot. I would like she should do it, but listen, it wasn't easy for me to do it till I decided to do it, and thank God I had the strength and the willpower to do it, and I hope my grandchildren and their grandchildren will see it, what Zadie and Grandpa went through, me and my wife, what we went through, and I hope it will never happen. It will never happen, not to nobody, to the human race, what we went through, the Holocaust. And I hope my children will be zoche to live and see Mashiach should come, and they should have nachas, and to hear only good psiris from Klal Yisrael. There should never be any more Holocaust.
How did the fact that you went through all this affect the raising of your children?
It's like I said, it's the attitude I took with my wife and I. If somebody had a problem, a neighbor, they used to come in and talk to my wife. I talked to Rose. She is an exceptional person, and we helped each other to go through and try to live a normal life. It should not affect our children. And one thing I did, whenever he said a Friday night, a Shabbos, a Yom Tov, I always told them from the Shtetl Likeve what happened, what they did, and this helped them. Also, they understood, and they always like to listen, tell me more and more and more. I think the whole evening, I don't think there isn't one thing that I didn't tell my children.
Do you have any advice for your children and future generations?
The future generation, I have advice. I only hope and pray that Israel will be strong. They will not give away the things what we have. If Israel is not existing, is not good. Everybody should do. Young people, old and young, should go. Anybody who can to live, to go to Eretz, to live there, to have a majority, and to see the religious party. Israel should be strong and not to give away the heilige places, and that's the only way it will never happen again. If Israel will be strong and powerful, nobody will hurt us anymore. And the only thing, the Mashiach will come. We are waiting for him thousands of years. And I hope my children will be Zoche. Maybe me too, my wife too. And that's what I like to end.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, they ask me questions, I don't know.
Thank you very much for your wonderful...
I thank you. I thank you. It was a pleasure. And I'm glad it's over. It wasn't easy for me, believe me. And now, if you like, speak to my children. Let them say a few words.
Thank you.
This is the Seide Itzel. This is my mother's great-great-grandfather. I got this picture for my aunt that she brought me here to the States, my aunt and uncle. They came here in 1926, so they had this picture. And this picture was given to my cousin Sarah Locker, so her daughter gave it to me a few weeks ago. I knew I'm going to do it, and I wanted to show it. So this is, I'm like from him, the 6th generation. Next.
Thank you.
This is the Seide Beru, my mother's grandfather. And I also got this picture through my aunt and uncle. They came here. And
when did he live?
He lived in Likeve. I didn't know him. He lived a long life. He died when he was 96. 96. I remember my family and my father used to tell me stories that when my mother was alive, she used to go and bring him. He lost his eyesight the last couple of years before he died. And, you know, as I mentioned it in the tape, we had a candy store. My mother used to bake cheesecakes and things. Every morning she brought him a glazer schnapps, vodka. He liked it in a Danish every day like that.
Thank you.
Now this picture, what you just saw, Seide Beru, that's his son. This is Moshe Fellendler. He was my grandfather's brother, and he was in Likeve. He was 90 years old.
And how did you get the picture?
When they shot him in the bed for the first act in 1942, a day after suicide, the first day he was killed. They killed him in the bed. He had a son in Herzruel, and this is Leibisch Fellender, and I got this picture through the same way, through my aunt and uncle. Okay, this is my sister Chaile. This is a picture I got here when I came to the United States. I met some people. They left Lukov in the early 30s. One of the brothers was even a friend my age, but not through him, through his sister. I think that's her, that's Mindel. And when I came to see her, she said, I have a picture from your sister. They went to school together. So from this picture, I took out that picture and I made that portrait what I have there, my brothers in Getzel and Leibel and Gershon and Chaile.
Okay,
that's
where
my
was the
sister.
picture taken?
The picture was taken in school, in public school.
In what year around?
I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you.
And where is your sister?
But
Your sister?
on the right.
All the way on the right.
On the right, yes.
Okay.
This is Chaile, like I had my sister, and on my right, this is Gershon, my oldest brother, and this is Getzel on the left. On the bottom is Leibel. They all, except my sister, they all died in Treblinka.
And how did you get these pictures?
This picture, like about my sister, I told you, and my brothers, when I was liberated, the German labor, where they had, you know, the Arbeitsamt was called, you know, they sent people to work, and every Jew from 12 till 60 had to give in to the Germans. So those pictures, I found that I picked it up there, and I made that portrait.
Thank you.
Okay, this, I want to tell you who's that handsome guy there. That's myself. This picture was taken in right when the Germans came in, and they had to give it in to the Germans when I was liberated. Like I took out the pictures from my brothers, so I found this picture, I took it with me.
Thank you.
On my right, this is Elke, my cousin, first cousin. My mother had a sister in Likeve, and this is her daughter. Trischel was her mother. Trischel Horowitz, Mr. and Mrs. Horowitz, Yitzkele Horowitz. This is their daughter, and next to her is her brother Chanje. And then on my left, that's Elke's husband. They lived in Warsaw, and they came, the couple, you know, from the her on the right and he on the left. They lived in Warsaw, and when they started to got bad in Warsaw, they came to Likeve and they perished. They went to Treblinka. This man Leibel, after the first action, he wanted to give me a bond bill, $1,000. He said, take it from me. I said, I don't want any money. And then I never saw him. Then they took him the next day. His family was taken already. He begged me to take it. I didn't want to take it. And I never saw him anymore. That's why it's so important. I want you to, about this book.
And how did you get these pictures?
Through my aunt and uncle.
Thank you.
On my right, the girl, I start with her. Why did I pick the picture from Arbeitsamt? Her brother was my friend, Yitzhak Hamish. Her name was Hansje Hamish. Next to her, Yankel Bornstein, a good father of mine, and Leibel Rosenblatt. They were Hawaiian and Likeve before the war and during the war, and I picked those pictures up from Arbeitsamt.
Do you know how they were killed?
They went to Treblinka. Bornstein, in the middle, he was shot in Likeve. After it was Judenrein, he didn't know where to go. He was shot by the trains. He was walking around. Gendarmerie took him and they killed him. Gentile in Likeve told me that he was killed, you know, killed right after Judenrein. This is a picture when I arrived. I left Poland, I came to England. So became 117 children, as I mentioned it in the movie. Dr. Schoenfeld brought over children from Europe that they lost their parents, and this is me. And I remember the faces, the girls, I don't know where they are, you know. This guy is Ludwig, his name. The girls I remember, and that's about. This is a picture taken when I was in the in the Haganah, when Dr. Zelnicke took me in to work as a Havesh. And the picture, somebody took that picture, and I have it. I like to show it to you, to my children, let them see what I did. You know, the last few months that I spent in the Haganah, I worked as a nurse, and I worked very hard with sick people, giving injections, vaccinations to the Arabs. They had over 1,000 Arabs. So this is the picture when I was in the army. That's it. This man with the beard on the right, his name is Schleiserländer. He was the head of the Judenrat president. When I was taken to the wagon to Treblinka, when I was on the Chazenberg, that man came over with his brother, and they went around to get money, to raise money. He raised about 600,000 lotus at that time. He came over to him and he gave him, and he said to him, was hast du deine Juden versteckt? Du darfst 12,000. You have only 8. There were only 4,000 Jews on that before going, and he said to him, turn around, and he gave him one bullet in the back of the neck. but I mentioned it the day before, he fell down. So his brother-in-law was there, Dufche Lieberman. He had the money. He started tearing the money out, and he gave a slap the head of the Gestapo. And then they all came with rifles, and they started hitting till they killed him by hitting him. And then they gave him a few shots. It was very important. He was a Chushev Yid in Lukov, a Ger Chusid, a handsome man, a good family, rich, everything. He did everything for the Jewish community, and he died like that.
And where's the picture from?
The picture was taken, this is a book was written from the Likeva Landslat. And whoever had pictures, so people sent in pictures to give it. Now, that's it. Now I want to show you something else. Oh, which one? That's the shul suite where the big shul was, and the big Basamedrash, and the yeshiva of Lukove, and also the Bas Yankov, and where the Judenrat was also there. And on that Schulgasse we had the candy store, like opposite. Okay, this man on my left, his name is Ershel Lerman. He became the head of the Judenrat in charge. Well, this was after I lost already all my family. It was like after the third action. And he sent out the Jewish Polizei. All the Jews should come to the Judenrat. And the SS, one of the SS, his name was Berger. He killed a lot of people. He wants to speak to the Jewish by the Judenrat. A Jewish policeman chased me. He wanted me to go. From the experience what I went through, I said better not to be there. And I ran away with another guy, a loser Norman. He ran away, I don't know how, and he got out, he didn't go. Then the people, whoever came, he had 410 people by the Judenrat. When they came, the Wehrmacht took them down to the cemetery, Malzenhof, and they killed 410 people. I could have been there, but Hashem one boy survived. It's Finkelstein. He survived that instant, but he didn't make it. He came back to the ghetto. He was shot in the face, and he was laying there, didn't move till late at night. He was afraid, and then at night he went to the Dr. Orlinsky in Lukov, and he stitched him up. He had a terrible face here, and he had papers, Polish papers, and he left Lukov, but he didn't make it. Somehow where he was killed, I don't know.
What year was this, and what month?
This was I would say September 1942. This is Rivke Greenberg, my mother's sister. The reason I came to the States for two reasons. I didn't know my mother. I didn't know how she looked. And I wanted to see my aunt. I never saw her. And the second reason I came is to meet my wife. This is my uncle, Rabbi Greenberg. He was a rabbi in the early 20s when he came here, but he didn't want to be a rabbi. He started to do manufacturing ties and handkerchiefs for pockets, and he was a great man. He was almost sitting and learning. That man got up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to learn. And he tried everything for me to help me. He brought me here, made the papers for me. And I was very happy that I could come and see him, meet him. That's it, he died here. This is Sarah Locker, my first cousin. My mother and her mother were sisters. I found out in Poland that she is alive. I mentioned it in the day before that I went to see her in Warsaw. And unfortunately, she died by an accident in Florida. She went on vacation. But she was wonderful for us. And they came back, I mentioned the tape, they were in LA and they came back. She and her husband, they took us in. My wife, Jay was about, 12, 13 months old. And they stayed by them a couple of months till it was eine Kirche for all of us.
Thank you.
I'd like to show you pictures that I myself and my wife, to have the schus and to be zoche, to live, to see our first grandson to be married. That Jay's son, Jay and Tina's son, Moshe. I want to show Moshe and Don. Then I go left to right. Here is Shlomo, Tammy and Marty's son. And here is Marty. And here is my brother-in-law, Mendel Cohen. They live in Los Angeles. Also one survivor from my wife's family. Here is Marty Lovey, Tammy's husband. Here is Nina, Moshe's mother. Here is Jay, my older son. And here's Henry, my younger son. And here's Mike and Barry from Los Angeles, my brother-in-law's children. They have another son, a twin brother to Michael. Here's Ellie Orlinsky, Jay's son. Here's, can you see that?
On the middle right.
Here's Eliza Simmer, Henry Mindy's daughter. Here is Mindy Orlinsky, my daughter-in-law, Henry's wife. Here's my dear wife and myself. Here is Tammy, I think. Yeah, that's Tammy, our daughter, Tammy Lovey. Here's my sister-in-law, Eva. And here is Daniel, Jay's son. Here is Judah Orlinsky.
On the bottom left.
On the bottom left. Henry and Mindy's youngest son. And here is Shuli. Yeah, here is Shuli, Jay and Nina's daughter, Shalamis. And here is Zahava Nachuma, Tammy and Marty's daughter. And here is Jonathan, Henry and Mindy's older son. And here is Moshe Yisroel Leib, Marty and Tammy's youngest son.
And on the top left, we forgot somebody?
There on top left. On top left?
Yeah, the tallest boy.
This is Shlomo Lovey.
No, the next one.
Next one?
It's okay.
We get David?
Just a minute. I can't see. Can I see?
It's
Ah.
David.
Here is David Lovey.
Last but not least.
Tammy and Marty's older son.
Okay, thank you.
We should give him a cheer for that.
All right. You got that on the...
Here's a picture, memories from back home, what my father's business. My father, as I mentioned it, it's in the tape, had a factory from Seltzer. So Jay and Tina had a chance to get it, buy it from end of them, and they always said, that picture, I must get it for And this is the picture. Thank you, Dina and Jay, for that picture. This is a picture of me. You can see the tuxedo I'm wearing. Yeah, can't you? And my wife with the wedding gown. And thank God for that. They were married in the Bronx by Rabbi Beek. And they have a very happy life. And I'm grateful to Hashem for that. The family, what I have to thank.
Thank you.
No,
Yes, you go ahead and start.
Whatever you want to say.
No, say it, Shlomo. Oh, Judah. Come on. Why don't you ask him a question? He will tell you.
Why don't you introduce the family? How about that?
Okay. Here's Jay, my oldest son, and Tina, his wife. Henry and Mindy, my younger son. Tammy and Marty, my daughter and son-in-law. And here is David Lovey and his brother Shlomo, and his sister Zahava and Moshe Lovey. Here's Aliza Simmer, Henry Mindy's daughter, and Jonathan. Gershon Heinech, by the way, he was named after the Radzina Rabbi, like we talked about it. And this is Judah Orlinsky, Henry and Mindy's youngest son. Now over there is Eli Orlinsky. Unfortunately his brother couldn't be here, the married couple Moshe Orlinsky and Dawn. He's very busy taking the tests, you know, and he couldn't make it. And here's Daniel, Jay and Dina's youngest son, and here is Shuli, Shalamis, Jay and Dina's youngest son.
Would anybody like to say
And
anything?
here's my wife and myself. Okay, anybody would like to say something? Huh? What would you like to say? Judah?
Are you very proud of your grandfather?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to speak.
Okay.
You don't have to.
He doesn't have to say.
You don't have to.
Okay.
One thing.
Anybody? Okay. Go ahead, you can leave the microphone, it's fine, it'll pick it up.
Say, what it was like growing up with your grandfather?
It's very good, and I love to hear the stories about when he was in the Holocaust, and I just want to say how much I love to hear the stories and how much I love to grow up and be able to hear them.
Thank you very much.